Good morning, everyone, especially good morning to Mystical Misty, because this is going to be a reading for her using the Paulina Tarot by Paulina Cassidy. Now, I've set the table and been working on this for a couple days, building the energy. And Mystical Misty is someone who has subscribed to my station and has a couple channels of her own. And I'll try to include the information down below after so you can visit her. But all I know about her so far is what I've seen in the videos, and she's very crafty. She's got a beautiful voice, and she is so uplifting. It's a wonderful channel to visit. So I encourage you all to do that. And I found this beautiful cloth just for her. It's all butterflies. And it just spoke to me. And then I found this butterfly candle. So we're going to light that one right now. Hang on a sec, get this flame going. And we're hoping to draw in all her ancestors, her guides, her guardians, to light our way forward with some transformative information. Now I'm going to be doing the Celtic cross, and Misty, this will be for your next 3 to 6 months. And I hope that the information rings true for you. Now, I also brought in some herbs. I got Magdalene's beautiful pendulum here to lend her energy. But I brought in and put in this little dish some lavender. I believe I heard Misty say, excuse me, that she really liked lavender. And then I got the feeling that I needed to bring in some of this, I believe it's called fenugreek, and it's to bring good luck for her. And then I was attracted to some of my home dried rosemary. And I always think of rosemary as remembrance. So there's something, I got the feeling that Misty needed to remember. So hopefully as we go through the reading, this might come to her. If not, maybe in the next 3 to 6 months. Who knows? But let me adjust the camera, shuffle the cards a little bit, and let's get busy. Now, as I was shuffling these 3 cards, and the cards are just flying all over the place here. So these 3 cards we're going to look at definitely, because they are what we call our flyers, and I have brought in your guides and guardians and ask that those that hold you in the light and have your best interests at heart be present for this reading. I'm just going to turn a few cards around as well because I like to read reversals. And it's going to be tricky trying to get all the cards in view for you and me, but we're going to do our best here. Couple more reversals. Ooh, another flyer. And I'm just going to cut them in 3. Ooh, another one. Seems like you have very strong ancestors and very strong energy, Mystical Misty. So I'm going to lower this a little bit more. And it looks like this card wants to talk first. So we'll tuck those to the side there. Now this one, this is the Empress card. So when I think of Misty, she's very much like the Mistress. She's very creative, as I said, and she nurtures her gifts. So as I peer into this, I get the feeling that this is like a peacock here. And having watched her station, to me, she is not boastful in any way, like that peacock there, but she does have a very strong presence, and that's what I like about her. She's very confident in what she does, and all her gifts are brought to the table, literally, as she spreads them out for all of us to see. Now, there is also a foot on the moon. And so to me, that's about cycles. She might have some highs and lows that she goes through, but it almost makes a sphere around her foot. I get the feeling she's stepping into something important that's going to be very transformative. We got some foxgloves here. And to me, it's the way that they drop their seeds. And similar to the cycles, because they're biannual flowers, there's that feeling that I almost get the feeling, how to put this? She nurtures, yes, and she nurtures her gifts, but there are highs and lows in her world. And like the biennial, it comes and it goes. But because she has 3 there, it's always growth oriented. And the cat there brings in the idea that, she might have tried several avenues. And when something doesn't work, she's the type of person that just wants to open up and try again. She's like the cat who has 9 lives. You cannot keep this girl down, which is wonderful. And she manages to put a bit of a twist on things, I get here. She's very centered in her energy, I'm going to say. And as I'm starting this reading, it may not be a Celtic cross that I do for her. We may just be talking about these cards that up here. So we're going to put that one there for the Empress. We'll pull that in. And we'll tuck this down a bit there. So that seems to be front and center in her world. Next, I'm going to go to this one. And this is the 10 of Cups. For me, that is like the pinnacle that we all try to reach for, pure delight and happiness. Now I want to put this on a little stand so I can actually peer in closer at all of the symbols. Okay, I was taking a quick look before I propped it on the stand because the detail is pretty intense in this card. So I get the feeling with the tree in the middle that Mystical Misty is probably very connected to her family. There's a strong root there, and there's almost a clinging to it that she needs that support of the family. That helps her grow. I think she's a person who needs to know also that she is loved and appreciated. And with the, just going to get a little pointer here. Keep my fingers out of things. With the cups here, they almost have that same idea of the moon on its back. And that's very lucky. I encourage her to access all those lucky moments because from those moments, there's a lot of hearts here, appreciation. I think that she does show her appreciation to a lot of people. I did see another channel talking about her. I think it had Cedar Moon in it, maybe. And that she loves to send gifts. And I love those videos. I just stumbled on them about Happy Mail from Mystical Misty. And I get the feeling that she does love to send this appreciation, admiration out to other people. It uplifts her when she can share that. There are birds in here, which gives me the indication that she likes to have frequent connection and conversations. And just like the tree here, that makes her very, very happy. And this tree has rather a large root here. And that takes me back to family and the importance of that and building that and drawing on that. I would love to know if there was someone else in her family in her ancestor line that was also creative and passionate about relationships and creativity. That is just a card you could spend a lot of time on. So let's take a look at the other ones. And I'm just going to take them in the order that they fell. So we're going to go with this one. The Queen of Cups. Again, someone who's very nurturing, very intuitive. But I think there's a side to Mystical Misty where if she doesn't now, she needs to spend some time alone with herself. I know with 2 channels, she's very, very busy and she likes that connection and the sharing. But I think her soul is sort of crying out for a little bit of respite, rest, retreat, so that she can really listen for those thoughts inside that want to come forward. The outfit here is drawing me in that it's like a leopard and her spots. She might have a side to her where she can change direction quickly, fast, and with her emotions, I think they change quite quickly. I get also the idea of camouflage. And if you're hiding some of those emotions, I'd like to see you try to access them and let them spill out. These are almost like little sentinels here, little protectors. And it just gets to the point of really needing to get deep inside of these feelings. Now I want to zoom in a bit here and see what's in that. This reminds me also of the 8 of Swords in tarot, that if you can access some of those feelings, and some of those feelings, like the 8 of Swords, those ideas, they sit in that boat. And if we take a few of those swords out, we run the risk of, water coming in, which would be like emotions. If there's some things that you need to deal with, some ideas, some thoughts that have sat with you for a long time, and this might be where the rosemary comes in, that you need to access some of those past memories, deal with them so that you can move forward. And because this looks like an hourglass, I get the feeling that now is the time. So that some of these thoughts have been spilling in, and you really need to take the time to sit with them in order to understand, I guess, what happened in those moments, how those moments affected you, and try to come to terms with some of that so that you can move forward. And all of these can be lessons that we learn, and the idea is that we don't repeat them. And I get the feeling that you do protect yourself and you protect your emotions quite a bit, but it really asks you to be honest, be centered, and let those feelings come to the surface. It's time. And because this reminds me of a pond, ponds can be very still. So it's the idea of you needing to get very still, which I think is hard for Mystical Misty because she is so full of energy and so giving. But this time is for you, it's talking about here. And that is the Queen of Cups. Very much like our first card, the Nurturer, the Empress. It's great to nurture other people, but I think you're coming into a time where those thoughts and everything need to be centered on you. All right, let's see what the next card is. If you can take that time, it looks like you get a chance to deal with some of those thoughts. And I think the thoughts come very quickly for you. And because there is a little butterfly here, it would be very transformative for you to do this. And it might mean journaling for you. I know you create a lot of journals, but maybe there's one specifically for your deepest feelings, your deepest thoughts. One type of book that you just don't share with other people because it's so darn personal. And with the 8, I get the thought that there is lots of thoughts to be dealt with, maybe 8 in particular, but you have the infinite ability and skill to do this. And the idea with the wands that they then can be grounded when ideas float around in our head all the time and we don't deal with them. They just seem to be like little bees in our head, and they just buzz and buzz and buzz. And I think you would get a lot more clarity and direction if you took the time to center on that, focus on that thought of, I need to deal with my own feelings and I need to set some time aside for it. And you've got 2 butterflies here, which gives me the idea of balancing those thoughts and coming to terms with them and planting the ones that you can grow from. And it seems to happen rather quickly once you start. And the other card that came up is the Queen of Wands. So we've got 2 queens here. So the intuitive side to yourself also wants to speak to your creative self. When you have 2 queens together, it's like the bouncing of ideas off of one another. So these would be creative avenues coming up for you that would nurture you. And there's our cat again, and she's leaning on it. So I get the feeling that she leans on her creativity. And I just get the feeling, Mystical Misty, that that's all fine and well, but how are you nurturing and nourishing your very own soul? That has some depth to it. Okay, we've got an awful lot of, like here's a symbol that's like a target. If there's something that you're working on that maybe we need to do some emotional soul searching around it because of the 2 queens. And, put a date or a time on it, like a target, because time is ticking here and the thoughts are spilling forth. And maybe if you had a journal for your thoughts, you could get them out of your head and onto paper so that there's more breathing room for you. Interesting. And we do have another little creature up here that looks like a winged snail. And that to me says, slow down a little bit. Yes, the creativity flows within you and it flows fast. But it comes back to needing to spend some time with yourself. All right. Now I'm just going to take these cards and shuffle them and see if I can get them in an order. Now what we got there too in the cards that came flying out of the deck was 5 cards. And 5 represents a little bit of chaos that needs to be tamed within the cards. And so I'm going to add 1 more card from the deck as to a healing card. And we'll just see where it appears in the layout. And I'm just going to go left to right with these cards and take this one. Sneak it in here and just sort of shuffle. Oh, they do like to talk, your cards. Okay, so let's see if I adjust the camera. Can we tell a little story? I think I want to zoom up a bit. Now, I go a lot by the seat of my pants here, but I get the feeling with 3 cards I'm going to go. Don't know why, but that's what I'm doing. And what I did was put some down below. So we've got 2 in the center. And the center to me is the heart of the matter. So let's look at it. This could represent past, but we'll just see what happens. So there we have the 10 of Cups. And remember, that was about family. So there may be something in the family with that hint of rosemary keep coming back to in my mind when I put it in that little herbal dish for you there. Think of the family, spend a lot of time in your thoughts, and ponder what can you access, maybe from a past ancestor, that will help you move forward. And this one is the 8 of Wands. We had that one. So there's some quick thoughts and quick energy and the need to ground some of that creativeness in a project. It's time to put that project, that thought, forefront. It's got a star there. It's part of your destiny. You've got the target there, and to lean on the idea that, you can do many things, and that is part of your beauty. There's our new card, the 10 of Wands. So something coming up for you is going to be a bit of a burden, and it could be this, in fact. But take on what you can, and especially if you're dealing with thoughts that you're trying to pull up, trying to remember, trying to work through and see how that has helped you on your path to grow, this can be a bit of a challenge for you. And I think it'll be a challenge for you to spend some time with yourself. So, what's in the little picture here? Yeah, you're gathering a lot of stones there, and there's a weight, and all eyes are on you, anticipating. This could be like your ancestors watching from a distance. How is she going to handle all these issues? Well, not all at once. You're going to take them quite slowly and do what you can. And if you can ask for assistance from other people, that would be great. But don't think you have to do all of this all at once. Yes, you need some time to yourself, but you don't have to. Everybody has their own way of dealing with things. Do what you can and reach out when you can. Now let's see what's at the top here. That was our Queen of Cups, that ability to tap in and nurture your creativity. Let the messages come through. Handle what you can as you go down that path. Try not to go backwards. You want to go forward. You're going to take everything that you've learned so far and move yourself forward. Know that we can't take everything. You can't possibly do and handle all the ideas in your mind at once, but you can if you break it off in little pieces. And this one here, the root of the matter, is your nurturing. And we already discussed that one quite a bit. So if we take this, fulfillment in the family nurtures you. And you just have to now nurture yourself. There might be some independence that you're working on here. Not so much relying on family for all the affection, the love, and everything that family offers to you. It might be a sense of independence now, that growth that comes with knowing, feeling, and really tapping into yourself, your desires, in order to move yourself along on this path. Well, that's about all I've got so far. I could spend hours on this, especially with all the symbols. So I'm just going to break it down now one final time to the final card. This is going to be, I would say, the message from your ancestors, their final thoughts. Zoom in. We are zoomed in. Let's go this way then. So, be that creative soul that you are. Shine wherever you can. And look forward to growth in the next 3 to 6 months. Stay on target and follow your path where it leads you. But don't get too consumed by the fire and the passion. You have to bring a little balance to it. And that's where you rest with the Queen of Cups. There we go. So it's time for you, and really accessing you, because I think you've got even more to share than you realize, but we need to get in tune with it. Oh gosh, it was fun. Thank you so much, Mystical Misty, for letting me read for you. And I hope that some of those thoughts and words help transform your next 3 to 6 months, and be joyful about it. Hugs and kisses.